Having successfully returned from our trip, I thought I'd share some of it with you. An overview of it all, if you will, because it was actually pretty interesting. Now, it's hard to believe, but somewhere way back in this corner is Ange and Pancho. They're having a little walk. This was one of the many waysides we stopped. One of the whole points was taking the dog, and the dog. I believe in things greater than myself. I wouldn't attribute a change to it, but I certainly might believe it's true. I don't want to say, the power of positive thought fixed the dog, but getting out of the house, moving around, he travels actually very well, and the amount of extra love and care, honestly, that's what he got. Is pulling through. So for the second time in a year and a half, we thought the dog was pretty much done, and his ailments are not treatable. He's too old to go under anesthesia, so that's just where we're at. And the whole side of his face was bloated, and they're kind of positive. I am grateful to be wrong and to say I was wrong. He probably doesn't have another decade in him, but he's not coming home from his trip barely able to move and going to the farm. That is the out of a lot of pretty fun stuff. I think that is the high point of the trip. Everything else is Ange and I and the show, and we talked to a lot of people, learned a lot of interesting things. Turns out, when you get together with mostly like-minded people, it's easy to engage in conversation. That'll come up eventually. Now, I just wanted, the dog is important to me because I kind of, I announced that I thought he was done. I was building my resolve to do what I had to do. Now I'm just thinking maybe he needs to go on a couple trips now and then. And we'll keep, doing our best to take care of him. He definitely wants to stick around. So I like that. That just made my day. And after that, the next thing, well, actually at this same stop, I stayed on this long enough, but on the channel, I've admitted I tend to stop at memorials and remembrances of, I guess, horrific moments in history for some, moments in history nonetheless. And this was something else. I decided to read it, and it reminded me of why I invoked the wrath of a few viewers, subscribers, whatevers. So I talked about heroic actions in the face of horror, atrocity. I'm not taking away from the other side and the loss, but certain, in the face of overwhelming odds, this guy looked like he was turning mortars into hand grenades and single-handedly, thus single-handedly removing a serious threat to the company's flank. Received the Medal of Honor from Truman on Memorial Day 46. And it lived in this tiny little town. And that's where I roll through a town of, 800, and it has as strong a memories to stuff as it, right? You never know. Another little town was a big sign, some astronaut. Because after generations of farmers and, probably just normal life, you remember those who lived exceptional lives, whether your peers want to condemn it all or not. I just think it's pretty interesting. So I really spent a couple minutes here reflecting. Tried to, out on the trip. So we got to the show. As of my honey, we knew the sun was going to be in the way, but we were there together, honestly. And yeah. Brodnax was a big part of the opening experiences for us. We got there a little bit after the gates opened. We were able to just go right in, and we didn't wait in the line, but honestly, I admit, we got there a little early. We did. But we're walking around, as you saw, and Ange and I was, hey, we're at the Upchurch show, and it was slowly building. We didn't want to go into Turpin's actually referred to someone who supported the whole concert venue, not the flavorful additives in my oil. I digress. We didn't go into the Turpin tailgate section quite yet, and honestly, if I had to rethink the whole thing, we never once really felt like we were going to hit the mosh pit or push our way into the hot crowd. It was very warm. So we kind of hovered at the edges, so on and so forth. But we're walking around, and the line is actually, for the merch, was unbelievable. The Upchurch merch had an hour-plus line to wait. I mean, like, it was unbelievable. And we're looking around, and my honey bunnies are going to have some cocktails, so we can get that all figured out. And I look, and there's this little line right next to the merch booth for church. And Brodnax was out there working his merch booth the whole day. So before the show, and then after his set. And that was a done deal. I went up there. I picked up the new CD. He signed that, took the photo. Look giddy as man. I was very happy. It was cool. Much respect. Then when he did his set, he made a comment and talked about crazy drivers in Iowa, and that he was staying at a Holiday Inn. It took about 18 minutes to get there. I'm like, oh, Ange, I think he's staying at the same place we are. Long story short, we'll cut to the evening, and after didn't know there was a rough part of Dubuque, but I think we drove through it, trying to find a place for Ange to soak up her festivities. That's why you go to White Castle at 1 a.m. is it ain't the flavor at that point. It's just, I want to soak up the vodka in my stomach. Ange had a very good night. Get her some food, get back to the hotel. I get the dog. He was very good. He didn't even do nothing in the hotel room. And I mean, we left him alone for the concert in the hotel room. Come back, he was sleeping. He wasn't even barking. I was very impressed. So I take him out, and we go out to use the grass, right? And somebody's smoking out front, and it's like, hey, nice to see you. I'm just like, oh, someone who was at the show. And they vaguely familiar, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know, right? And hey, all right, cool, pleasantries, and I finish and I take the dog in. I knew I kind of recognized him. I come around the corner to the elevator. This is about 12:30, 1:45. Brodnax is standing there with 2 pizzas, all the fixins, waiting to get out of the elevator. Oh, Rollen's face lit up like that again. In fact, he did side it Rollen green for me. That was as far as I went. He had openly admitted a bunch of times that living on the internet isn't his thing. And I don't think I live here, but, you know, I mean, we're doing our thing here. I didn't want to make it, I didn't, as far as it went. But Poncho and myself rode in the elevator up a couple floors. One of them with Brodnax. He met Poncho. He was nice to my dog. I wasn't gonna fanboy 1 second in the elevator with his pizza, so I was just like, damn. It's like, because I went back and bought the shirt. I was like, he was working his shit like just the most stand-up guy I ever met. Honestly, his handshake had confidence, his attitude, and the fact that he's always in him, that we were both very hot and sweaty. I could have used a towel too. I understand the plight, but I had to go back twice. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm dropping my shit here. I'm giving it to Brodnax, and because he was just working his shit, right? His set. Let me now his set. I'm gonna be the first to tell you that my phone is literally shattered right now. It works, but it did not capture any of these moments. But we are now finally in the tailgate section. I decided to hover around the back because the big screens actually, it made it nice. It made it real nice. I was mostly looking to hover around people who were willing to smoke in the venue. And, there was a handful of us. There was plenty of participation to be had. And it turns out as an older member of the crowd, I had less F's to give. So I kind of just did my thing. Plenty of angry individuals drinking and throwing fists. That's for another video. I think that's just part of good old boys getting drunk. And then I'm actually exaggerating because one of the biggest issues appeared to be a very intoxicated young lady who wasn't taking shit from anyone. Weird. But now this sound is horrible.
Oh, good.
We got a packed in here looking good, baby. Y'all ready to have some fun on Friday night? Drop that bass, man.
Now, it sounded shitty, so we're gonna do some videos and some other stuff, and if I had a single takeaway for this video is, if you like the genre, Brodnax is fire. I just put a couple of the new tunes. I put the CD in the car right away, and hits hard, and he worked the crowd. Just dude was on fire, man. He played The Price is Right. The Price is Right is you scream loud enough, he'll throw you some swag. Did audience participation, pitting the group again, get some singing going. Had it all. And I gotta say, we were curious because we talked to some individuals out in the crowd. And it turned out that T2 had been kicked off the tour. JJ Lawhorn, whatever. He wasn't going to be there. The middle act, we didn't know who that was. Aaron something. He did some covers, very good. But the bars were delivered by Brodnax. Not that Upchurch didn't rap, but that's its own video because that was a complicated show. Mr. Upchurch had himself some bug issues, some audio issues, and a screaming fan issue. But I will, as a hint right now, also brought up a young man from the crowd at the end with a live mic. And the young dude was spitting YYYZ. With Upchurch, it was very. I tried to get a bunch of that. This kid, man, he brought the kid up there, and sure as shit, kid was spitting bars too. So it was very cool, very good time. But the highlight for me was, honestly, this was a moment. It was just, I think I've said it enough on the channel, and we'll wrap this one up so I got to work tonight too. So mostly back to normal tomorrow, but it's going to take a bit. I think, at my own, where I work, at the old Knotty Pine there, we get some acts that come in, and they got to put on a show for 15 people. Now, Brodnax had a much better crowd than that. I think there was very good turnout, a lot of hype. I mean, I think it was a good time. I don't judge, right? I didn't take the receipts at the door. I don't actually know. But for the second to last night of the tour, it was still together. I will say, as with a caveat, a little asterisk right here, I sensed. I'm thinking Brodnax was good to be done with the tour. That it all gets complicated, and then watching Church's set. Church stopped like the first 4 songs. Had to turn off all the lights because there was a cloud of bugs. There's no bullshit. You could see the drummer eating bugs the whole show. She was busting her ass and just constantly having to deal with, there was a lot of bugs down there in the river valley. And one so bad right here, when it was still light out, it was still pretty, it was nice. It was nice. But and I think the show was good. There was just some interesting things going on, and couple of the statements, and then the fact that Brodnax didn't play, didn't get on stage with Church with any of their, didn't do any of their, that part might have fallen apart on the tour. We talked to a few people, but that's for a reflection just on the show. I believe there might have been some drives. I don't follow along at home. But there were some takeaways from the whole thing that I'm going to love sharing. All in all, very good times. No complaints. Brodnax was fire. I highly recommend checking him out if you haven't. Just seemed to have a shit ton of integrity. And then the line for his booth after his set was beautiful, baby. Beautiful. He tore up the stage, and then they lined up, and then I hope he sold out. I hope I saw a lot of people going over there just to get that handshake, and was able to connect with him like a real human being. That part I tried. Outside of that smile, I tried not to gush and be an idiot. I genuinely was pleased for the opportunity, and I cherish the moment. And I'm going with that, and I will be back in the morning. We'll get back to some stuff that's been waiting. This should be a good week. I think I have some positive attitude I'm ready to spread around, whether it be here or at work. But be it it's the last, I'm going to hang out with my honey for a couple hours before I go to work and pet the dog and all that stuff. Because sometimes, it wasn't cheap, whatever. We dug deep. But the time spent with my baby and my pet and my peers, I recharged the battery pretty good. Enjoyed myself. And, I highly recommend getting out of the house once in a while. From stopping at the Wayside Rest that cost $0 to the fantastic breakfast that Holiday Inn gave us, which cost a grip. There's a sliding scale, but participation, I think, is the key. Do something. Touch a little grass, breathe a little cleaner air. Get down to a river. Rivers are cool. Later.